promote local timber, reclaim timber, woodland produce and the sustainable management of working woodlands from the west of England. We were formed about 14 years ago, and really it came out of the Forest of Avon Trust. And the Forest of Avon represents a geographical area from 50 miles from the centre of Bristol, a geographical area that encompasses a whole load of sustainably managed woodlands. And we, as the Products Cooperative, are committed to using the timber from those woodlands and putting that back into the built environment in Bristol.
My name is Katie Turnbull and I am the PR officer and an administrator for the Forest of Avon Wood Products Cooperative. This event was put on as an opportunity to engage with people who could be potential stakeholders that we could work with, who are like-minded, who support our aims and want to maybe collaborate in some way. And we're at a point in the history of the co-op where we need to expand and develop, and the way that we need to do that is to do the same with our space, which is currently based at the Bower Ashton Woodyard here.
There are 30 businesses and charities and organisations that are part of the co-op. The thing that binds us all and makes us stand out from everyone else, I believe, is that we are all absolutely passionate about supporting locally well-managed woodlands. There are some people as part of the co-op who actually manage those woodlands, and there are a whole load of different products and services that we offer in relationship to that timber. Here is an example of a rough piece of wood and a finished product at the end. There are some lovely examples of carvings at the back, the carvings and the use of traditional woodcraft, which of course in the past we're not developing anything new, but this is part of an ancient tradition to have a codependence between woodlands and the built environment.
Well, I see he's winking unless you slip with the chisel. What's that about?
Basically, I wanted to do something that was a little bit more challenging, something that was a bit more of a technical challenge. So I could have just done your ordinary face-forward, neutral expression. I didn't really want to do that, and it's a bit of fun. So
what sort of tools have you used?
That's all carved with hand tools. The only machine tool that I used was a bandsaw, which I cut out the initial rough from, and then everything else was done with traditional hand tools.
It's a fabulous finish. How did you get the finish?
Sanding, because with Lawson Cypress it's quite difficult to get a very good finish on it. So a lot of it was sanding down through the different grades of sandpaper, and then some bits I would just burnish it.
These are some of the techniques that have been used for many centuries by our forebears. Obviously we have charcoal and firewood, that's part of some of what we make. And then we can move into furniture making. I think one of our members is actually co-exhibiting with John Makepeace later on. We also have here today Jeremy as well, who has been exhibiting with John Makepeace himself in the past. So we have some very well-regarded furniture makers. Touchwood Enterprises, which is the company that I run, make playground equipment and use large quantities of locally supplied timber, and I think it's a wonderful story actually that the actual miles for that timber could be counted on one or two hands between where it's cut and where it's manufactured. We have round pole construction to make really quite fine buildings as well. Amongst us, Tom Redfern here is also one of those. I'm pretty amazed by how many different types of skills and services there are that relate to the product of wood and timber. One of the things which we are very committed to is how we interact with the community about us. This really centres on education, and again it's our passion for woodland and what it gives to the community that has driven quite a few of our members to do different kinds of services and to offer different services in relationship to spreading the message that we believe in. People think it's bad to cut down trees, but actually we've always cut down trees. It's really, the bad bit is not doing anything useful with those trees when they are cut down, and not understanding their potential. So we look to create that connection between people and the woodland environment across the board, with adults, young people and children. In fact, you don't need to be in a woodland to create that connection. One of the things that we're promoting is the idea of using school grounds to promote the kind of connections that children have in woodlands. So making fires, building dens, these are the kind of things that children do in order to become inspired.
So Jez, what's your connection with the Forest of Avon?
Well, my connection initially actually probably was in quite a negative time frame, in that I was suffering quite bad depression, and there was a therapy group here called Treedom, I think, and I actually met Nick Sneller one day. He was using the Wood Miser saw, rather like Bob's saw there, and I actually wanted to get a long way away from wood, because woodworking for me meant many years of isolation, working in an underground workshop with no natural light. And it turned out they'd heard of me through my books, etc., and they started engaging me socially, and I went along to a few of their riotous parties. So I have a kind of soft spot for the wood yard here at Bower Ashton. I worked as a kind of mentor to Jules, the workshop forum, for a brief period.
I'm Julian. I'm a project manager and a production manager at Touchwood Enterprises.
And then look, what caught my attention is this wonderful sheen on the logs over there. Tell me what's going on.
Gone are the days when you're hand peeling with a sharpened scraper and a wire brush. Nowadays we've got a high pressure water jet, a power washer that shreds the bark in minutes.
Let's go over there and have a quick look.
Yes.
I mean, it's almost a finish in itself. It's quite silk-like. How long does that take to do, Julian?
For a large log, it probably takes about 20 minutes. That includes removing the bark and then going over all the knots with a grinder, which is probably 5 times faster and still a better finish than the old way.
Do you have to wear a snorkel and a life jacket?
Not a snorkel and life jacket, but you definitely have to wear waterproofs.
Yeah.
You wouldn't look out of place with a wetsuit. This is larch. It's a good resinous timber that would last a long time outside, and it's more efficient not to finish it. Over time it goes a silvery grey colour, but it's unlikely to rot.
It naturally ages like me.
Yes, it does. I think it's improving all the time, just like you.
Yes. This was a throw by Jez Brun on his first attempt.
Second attempt.
And well, yeah, unusual position for the axe.
Yeah, I actually got the bugger in there, about there actually. It's a shame I didn't film it. Beginner's luck.
I think, as you said, like, wood is a perennial material. We've always been interacting with it and living under it and building our homes with it. And I found out the other day that timber actually is an Anglo-Saxon word for building. So that's fascinating, and I think we all feel at home in wood. There's something of a sense of domesticity and homeliness about it, and I can't help like jumping into a hollow tree whenever I find one, because there's something just really lovely about being surrounded by wood, and everyone loves it. You want to touch it, you want to stroke it.
That's right.
Feel it's very therapeutic, for want of a better word. There's something very healing about wood, and touching it, making it, people involved with wood, they're often very quite gentle people, quite balanced, down-to-earth people as well, and I think it's their constant contact with the material that they almost kind of, you know, absorb those characteristics themselves, or it's drawn out in them somehow through working with it. And I particularly love woods. That's my passion.
I haven't been over here for a little while, and it's really nice to have a kind of update. I was once a member, so maybe I should rejoin.